No? No, nothing for me? Oh, well, anyways. What's up and good morning, guys? Welcome back to another video. Am I the only one that gets really excited when you see the UPS truck, the FedEx truck, or any of those guys coming around? Even if you didn't order something, hoping that, well, maybe there's something in there for you. Well, even though the FedEx guy didn't bring us anything, I did get a call earlier from the powder coater. I actually got the call yesterday, maybe it was even 2 days ago, saying that our powder coated pieces for the rear bumper of the BBB build here are done. So we get to go pick those up at some point today. And as you may be able to tell by my voice, it finally happened, guys. I finally got sick this year. And I think I'm going on about 2 days worth of zero sleep. Just apparently get to stay up all night hacking up a lung. So bear with me through this video, and if I disappear for a day or so off of the channel, just know it's because I finally passed out and maybe got some sleep. So as you guys know, in the way that I'm real particular about tire to wheel ratio, I'm also pretty particular when it comes to tire width to lift height ratio. And I don't really have that quite as broken down to a science, I would say. But to me, the ratio that I run, being a 12-inch lift on 14 wide wheels with 15.5 tires, and I believe like a negative 70 something offset. I don't really know 100% off the top of my head, but to me that provides just the right amount of width. And obviously, you know, just in pure physics, if you're lifting your truck taller, you want your wheelbase wider. And no, I don't use spacers. I don't like spacers. I don't really believe in spacers. I know there's some high quality spacers out there that you'll probably be fine with, but to me it's not worth the risk. Now that being said, just because that's the look that I like and that I go for, that obviously doesn't mean that's everybody's look. If we come over to Chris's truck here, you can see his tires stick out, I'd say about 3 inches up at the top of the wheel well there. And he is running a 12.5 tire. But you can clearly see obviously his offset is much less than mine. And as we all know, our good buddy Eddie, he also likes to have his wheels really tucked into the wheel well, which at the height that this truck is and Eddie's truck is, that's fine. And it's actually a pretty decent look. And it actually kind of helps you stand out a little bit from people that always go super wide if you can pull that look off correctly. And I think Eddie's done a really good job with that. But to me, because, you know, we went the BBB, the bigger, badder, better build, that means we got to go big, we got to go wide, we got to go monstrous, and that's obviously why I run the setup that I run. But if you guys have seen in previous videos, you know, anytime I take it off on like a gravel road or a dirt road or whatever, before I get back on the pavement and actually get up to, you know, normal driving speeds, I'll go through and pick all of the rocks out of the treads of the tires. And that is actually for a really good reason, because these tires like to hold those rocks till you get to right about 30, 40 miles an hour, and then it'll obviously let them go. And well, where are they gonna go when the tires stick out that far? They're clearly gonna go directly at the mirror here. And that's no fun, because these mirrors were really expensive and they turned out really nice, and even though they're really dirty, I don't want to have to redo them. And on my last truck, my Silverado, I got really lucky. I had the same width tire setup, and I really didn't have really many rock chips at all. There might have been a couple little tiny ones along like the bedside, and I mean, I took that truck in the dirt. You know, we do donuts in the dirt and we take it hill climbing. I mean, it's not like I went off-roading with it like crazy. I didn't run the Baja in it. I didn't go mudding in it. Well, I actually did take it in the mud a few times, but not like anything super crazy, but more so than I think I would ever take this truck. And that truck fared really, really well with a lack of rock chips. So I was hoping the same for this truck. You know, I put a lot of time into really making sure she doesn't get any rock chips. She stays clean. I mean, she's dirty right now, but you know, there's a lot of painted stuff on this truck, and typically I don't like having that much aftermarket painted stuff because it always makes me worried. One of which being the bumpers, because they're so big and it's white and it's just so standout-ish that any little thing you see on the bumpers is gonna really stand out. And obviously paint is not quite as strong as powder coat, but if you want to match the color of the bumper correctly to the color of the truck, you can't use powder coat because there's just not the right color white when it comes to powder coat. And I know a lot of you guys say, well, yours doesn't match because that fender looks a little yellower than the actual bumper, but if you look right here, there's actually a seam, and this is a clear bra. So if you look at this panel, it might be hard to see on camera, as opposed to this panel is wider than where the clear bra is because the clear bra has kind of yellowed. So if we were to pull the clear bra off, you would see that that white matches that white. And I know I've been saying it for the longest time, I need to get the whole freaking front end of this truck clear, bro, before anything bad happens. Well, something bad has happened, guys. One I noticed not that long ago, and it was kind of in a place that I was really expecting it to happen, and that was on the grill surround. As you know, this whole grill surround comes from the factory in chrome. I had it painted, and I just was worried. You can see all the bug splatter and all the crap on the front. The front ends of these trucks take a beating, and well, this happened pretty early on. I know it's hard to see, but that little rock chippity chip right there, yeah, I wasn't happy when I saw that, but at the same time, it's the front of the truck. What are you gonna do? And then it gets worse from there, guys. This one was actually noticed by our good buddy Durmax BBQ the other night after we did our little video with him, and I'm pretty sure it happened when I was pulling off that road. I might have missed a rock that was in my tire. I mean, you could probably see it from there. Can you see it? I don't even want to look. I don't even want to look. I just saw it. Yeah, I'm talking about that big rock chip right there. Like, that's probably the most substantial rock damage I've ever seen on any of my trucks. And yeah, it doesn't feel good. I don't even want to touch it because I don't want it to chip. I mean, the paint's on there really good, but like, it's in such an obvious spot too. It looks like crap. That drives me absolutely insane. And I'm sure there's guys out there saying, well, it's a truck, man, and you get this thing dirty, go out, take it out, beat it up. Probably also the same guy seen the comments saying, nah, man, it's a truck, they look better dirty. And to that I say, man, I would really hate to see what your women look like. I would really hate to see the condition of the house that you live in if you think things look better dirty. Because, yeah, nah, I like to take care of my stuff. I like my stuff nice. I like it pretty. I like it clean. And it has always blown my mind why that like drives certain people absolutely nuts. But because, you know, we cater to everybody on this channel, I have made it a mission to keep the old 7.3 here dirty for those guys that like dirty trucks. Let me check this old girl out right here. You see that? That is some nice watermarks right there. Look at that. Look at that. That might have been where I spit out the window. That was a footprint from when I closed the door with my boot. Look at that girl right there. You see that? Those claw marks from years and years of nails. Oh, and you're really gonna like this. This right here is this genuine foam from when the toolbox used to sit up here. And I got one more for you. This one's really gonna get you all off. This is genuine spilt diesel from when this thing is pumping full blast, kicks off, and decides it wants to gurgle some diesel fuel out. So you see, we got the best of both worlds for everybody here. But now we gotta fire up the truck here. We're gonna go pick up these powder coated pieces and get them installed today. And I'm gonna see if I can turn the volume down here on my exhaust because we don't want to be too loud. I need to get a silencer. Don't say that in California. For the exhaust. Now I will say, if you guys are on the fence about going with wide tires on your truck, obviously if you go with less aggressive of a tread, you're gonna pick up less stuff. You're gonna have less chance of rocks being thrown at your paint. If you don't ever take it off on any gravel or dirt roads, you don't ever really have to worry that much about rocks getting thrown up on your paint. But most people kind of have come to the understanding that if you throw really wide wheels on your truck and really wide tires, it's gonna happen eventually, you know, and as long as you're somewhat cautious, you can really keep rock chips down to a minimum. So I don't know what the difference between this truck and my old Silverado, but anytime this truck is under load, and I'm talking like if we got a 5-mile grade, it is gonna happen the entire way up the grade. There's just gonna be smoke pouring out, black smoke. And it's almost like the truck's in the wrong gear. Like it's in too high of a gear, so it's bogging down. But to try and get it to drop without manually having to go in and drop it, it's just weird. My old truck never had that issue. And really the only difference between that truck and this truck is this truck has an intake and a downpipe. But to me, that shouldn't make the difference. It's almost like it's something in the tuning that is really letting it bog down. And I know, you know, it's all fun and games to roll coal, but when you're going up a, you know, 6-7 mile grade, and you got the old chippers around, you don't want a bunch of black smoke billowing out the back of your truck. And well, we have arrived back over here at Swift Powder Coating. plate there, which is gonna go on the back flog bumper here, which we'll race home right now and throw that on. Get a little replacement there. I think that's gonna look pretty badass. And then obviously we got the giant tow hooks that go there. I don't have the giant lug nut wrench for that, so I don't feel like pulling those off today. Looks like the Power Wagon Ford just pulled back up. You guys can see the amount of soot on this rear bumper area. My old truck was nowhere near like this unless you were really getting on it hard to intentionally blow this much black smoke. This one just does it. I don't know what the difference is, but this truck just hates going up hills without bellowing out just black smoke the whole way. You can see right now we're climbing this grade and it is just black smoke the whole way. I don't know if any of you guys got an idea as to why this is doing it way more than my last truck did it. Leave it down in the comments, give me some ideas. That might be the one reason I re-gear, if that's an issue of it staying in too high of a gear, which is still, again, it's weird that my last truck didn't have this issue, but I can't really have that, you know? Can't have black smoke just billowing out the entire time, every time we're going up a grade. Alrighty, let's get our new back plate out here. And we gotta pull all of the bolts out of this one. And unfortunately, the plate was actually installed prior to the bumper getting put on the truck. Now that I'm looking at it, the trailer hitch setup is kind of in the way of a lot of these nuts on the backside here, and it's going to make it a little bit of a pain in the butt to get to. But grab us a couple of tools here. Need us T-handle Allen, 7/16 wrench, and let the fun begin. Hate doing things blind like this. Now typically you don't want to spin it from the bolt side because you're going to scratch the surface, but obviously this one's getting tossed here and I don't really have room to spin it from underneath. But what I'm doing is, as you can see, I'm pushing tension up on it, so I'm actually keeping the bolt head off the surface here, so we should avoid any scratching. It's about the time when having an extra set of hands would be killer. All right, now I don't know if I actually showed this on camera, but before we went to SEMA, we decided, or actually Preston decided, we should have a little bit of a touch of copper underneath the writing on the front and the rear of the bumpers. And well, being that there's like not really a spot to powder coat, nor did we have time to powder coat it, we literally took a piece of extra vinyl that they had from doing all of the back window graphics, and we just laid a piece of vinyl there, not even stuck down, like it's not attached or anything, just literally laid it in there, and it actually turned out killer. It's kind of ghetto, but it works. So I think I might actually keep that idea and just trim a little piece. That way when we have the work for it in there, we'll do maybe just the 4 in copper. I'm just using some McGuire's quick detailer. I'm sure Josh, my detailer, is going to yell at me when he sees me using this, but if you wet it up enough and let it carry off some of the dirt, it'll be just fine. And you can definitely tell this area wasn't really waxed because obviously it got pre-assembled right after it got painted and before we went to SEMA, so I'm just going to throw a quick little bit of wax on there. And yes, the wax exploded everywhere. Just my luck. Luckily it didn't get on any of the black plastic stuff that is almost impossible to get wax off of, but it is all over the place, all over the concrete. All right, she's all lined up. Now the fun part, getting all these damn nuts and bolts back on. Well, after what was much bigger of a pain in the butt and many more cuss words than YouTube will allow, I finally got all the stupid little nuts and bolts in. And if it was just nuts and bolts, it wouldn't be that big of a deal, but trying to fish a washer onto the back, then get the nut on there in an area you can't reach. I mean, some of these areas you guys can see are so freaking tight, like that one. It was absolutely brutal. For those of you that wonder why I don't enjoy working on my own truck, it's for reasons like that. The little intricate stuff is such a pain and takes so much longer than it should. And not to knock any mechanics, but a lot of mechanics I know are bigger dudes with like sausage fingers. I don't know how you guys get into some of the areas you can get into in a vehicle. It's insane, especially with these newer diesels where there's like zero space in the engine compartment. But I have to say, I am a big fan of that look. It turned out absolutely killer. I cannot thank Flog enough for that. You know, they completely sent that to me without me asking. Everything they're doing over at Flog Industries, they're definitely doing things right. And for those of you wondering about the front grill mesh here, it is still at the painter. I told him not to rush. I actually felt kind of cool being able to tell somebody not to rush now, because during SEMA it was like, hey, I'm dropping off 40 parts, can I get them back by like noon tomorrow? So I told him, hey, don't worry about it, take your time, get it to me when you can. And then I think I'm gonna have to pull this door handle off and drop it off with him as well to have him touch up that rock chip, because that's no bueno. I can't live with that. And well, with that, guys, we're gonna wrap up this video. As always, thank you guys so much for watching these videos. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please click the subscribe button now. That way you do not miss out on any future content. Don't forget to give this video a like, aka a thumbs up. Don't forget to check out my buddies over at Flog Industries. You guys may remember my boy Avion. We checked out his murdered out Duramax way early on in the channel. Well, he actually just got a set of Flog Industries bumpers, and he's gonna be back in Southern California soon, so we'll be able to check out what a black set of Flog Industries bumpers looks like on a Chevy, and I think it's gonna be a really cool setup. Also, don't forget to check out workforitapparel.com, because if there's anything you want in this life, you gotta be willing to work for it. You guys are the best. Catch you in the next video. I'm out.
Damn. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.